To them the chief of the eunuchs gave names. I want to reread this part. He gave Daniel the name Belshazzar, to Hananiah, Shadrach, to Mishael, Meshach, and to Azariah, Abednego. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's delicacies, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the chief of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Has anyone ever tried to call you something or someone that you are not? If yes, how did that make you feel? Leave that in the comments. Names are special to me. I like to look up the meaning of names, and I like to look into the meaning of names, because often people in the Bible lived up to their name, or God changed their name as he gave them greater positions. Think also of a wife who changes her name when she and her husband get married. She goes from being a girlfriend or fiance to a lifelong companion and wife. The two become one, even in name. It makes me angry that these Babylonians took so much from Daniel and his friends, but they have to go and impose new names on them. You know who was working through these Babylonians, right? Yeah, yes, the enemy was. The enemy definitely was. And yes, God allowed it for a purpose. But the Bible also tells us in Ephesians 6 that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers in the unseen realm. I looked these new names up, and they all mean servants of each a different false god. So each name, it means like servant of this false god, servant of that false god. The false gods that were worshipped by the Babylonians. So in fact, they themselves were being made sacrifices to these pagan gods. Like, that's horrible. But God doesn't allow it. God works it to his glory in an amazing way. So as it is at the moment, they are now under the chief of the eunuchs. Baal, a fertility god, was one of them. So I was wondering, is it possible that their sexuality was taken from them via castration and offered by someone to the fertility god for an attempt to gain favor? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I'm thinking, what a horrible thing to do to somebody, to take that away from them, right? And they did worship these types of gods. Also, each youth's name was now to signify to which god they were now a servant of. However, just like the enemy took the choice of golden articles from the very house of Almighty Yahweh, both literally and metaphorically regarding the children of Israel, you know that God allowed it. So think of that. They took the choice silver articles out of the Holy of Holies. And I think that is a dangerous thing they did, but more dangerously taking God's chosen remnant in amongst their false gods, just like they took the articles in and put them amongst the false gods. And you'll see later, right in the story, God has his they don't get away with it. You'll see anyways. The story is amazing, and it's here for us. Like, we needed Daniel to go through these things, to have these. He's given us prophecies and teachings and examples. Like, their suffering too has brought us great and important, valuable lessons that we otherwise wouldn't have. So, Side note, a golden article belonging to Yahweh, meant for service in his house, is just as precious and useful to him, no matter where he allows you, because if you have the Holy Spirit in you, want you to think of yourself as a special tool, a golden article belonging to Yahweh. So no matter where He allows you to be temporarily placed, in fact, the darker the situation, the brighter His light may be shining through you, and your service, like Daniel's, may just stand the test of time